pretty good. And I'm just going to put that into the tray, on the top. There are little holes in the tray that are going to allow this material to go through from one side to the other. This locks in the material to keep it from coming out. We also put a little bit in on the tongue side to make it smooth and comfortable. And on the cheek side to do the same thing on that side, and also to make sure that the material is locked in 360 degrees. Okay, go ahead and open for me. And just place this on the posterior teeth on the bottom. Okay. And slowly start closing for me. And bring your jaw forward till you feel that click. Good. And push your tongue forward and nice and broad. Forward a little bit. Click. There we go. So her jaw is into that forward position. Tongue is forward and fat. Let me see the position. Good. Forward and fat. Good. And you can close your lips around that and try to keep that forward. This will just take a few minutes to set. So you can see the protruded position, basically a jaw thrust position. Other advantages of the Easy Airway is it's open in the front. A patient can drink with this in their mouth. They can talk with it in their mouth. So it'd be very easy post-operatively for the patient to keep this in their mouth, even if they have visitors, if they're talking to people. The idea is that they would wear this continuously after their procedure and only take it out to eat. Once they've eaten, they can put it back in their mouth. Since this does not enter the oropharyngeal space at all, the palatal area, there's no inducing a gag reflex or any problems like that. So with post-anesthesia, nausea and things like that, this is not a type of appliance that will induce emesis or even make the patient feel gaggy. I'm going to check and see if that's about set. And that is set, open. Okay, that's pretty much it. So you see the indentations on the teeth there, top and bottom. There's really nothing for me to trim in this case. So I'm just going to try that back in and make sure it fits all right. Close. And that's it. So that will keep, if you're just trying to relax there, that'll keep the jaw from falling back. Go ahead and open for me and close. It's fairly retentive, but if we wanted it to be a little more retentive, open for me. We could simply add a little material in here and put it back in the mouth, and that would make it a little bit tighter. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to show how to do that. So on the bottom, we got very good retention. On the top, could just make it slightly more retentive. So again, to show how that is done, the material itself bonds to itself. So all I did is, as you saw, is I just wiped it off with a paper towel so that it wasn't overly wet with saliva. I will take a small amount of putty, but making sure it's in equal amounts. And go through that same process with just a small amount. Put that back in the teeth area there. The excess away. Open for me. And close into that spot. Good. And she bit right into that. Her teeth went right into it. Bite down nice and tight. Okay, you don't have to hurt yourself, but just bite nice and tight there. So the advantage of this material is it will bond to itself. As you've seen, I've not used any specific dental instrumentation or devices. This can all be done in really any environment at all. The appliance, after this is now set for another couple minutes here, will be quite retentive on the top. This material can be redone. So if, for example, the patient decided that that was a very uncomfortable position for them, we could rip out the material and start over. That could be done as many times as necessary. If we decided that the post-operative position needed to be a more advanced position, like we have here, that would be fine, but perhaps the position that we'd like the patient to use at home while we're waiting for the sleep study, while we're waiting for definitive diagnosis, is not quite so protruded. Maybe we would take it back a little bit. So all of those things can be done relatively easily by just removing the material, putting in new material. Let's see if that's set. Just takes a few moments here. Let's give that another minute. Some of the contraindications to using an appliance like this would be someone with an acute TMJ problem, someone with acute TMJ pain, but even people with popping and clicking, people with a complaint of a history of TMJ problems, that's nothing to contraindicate use of this type of device. As a matter of fact, again, because it is fit preoperatively in an awake state in an ambulatory patient, it's a good thing to use because we're going to know what type of effect that has and not be surprised or put in as likely to be put into a position post-surgically where we have to in an emergency nature maintain an airway that could put significant stress on someone with a jaw problem. Okay, let's take a peek. All right, open for me. Okay, and you see now when she opened, that comes off the bottom teeth, and you can see the definition here on the top. Again, that is very retentive at this point. That material is bonded to the underneath material. It's not coming off. There's really nothing, again, to trim on that, so I would just pop that back in now and close. Okay, bites right into it. Feel around with your tongue, your cheek, your lips, see if there's any place rough or pokey. Does that feel okay? All right, and open a little bit. So notice here, close. Good. And the retention there, the tongue can come forward to the teeth. Go ahead and show that. Good. And again, the patient could drink with that in. Go ahead and take that out on your own. Okay, and see if you can put that back in on your own. So easy for the patient to take that in and out of their mouth in a post-surgical setting or at home. So that is fitting the Easy Airway from start to finish, also adding material to make it more retentive, and that is the device from start to finish.